What you got for me today, Endymion? Man, Ubisoft panics as devs strike. Their staff is going on strike after they done delayed Shadows. Well. Let's see what's happening. Plus, we got Sweet Baby Ink here demanding stuff.
Hey everyone, it's Endymion, and today we got quite a bit of news to cover surrounding the games industry, from Ubisoft's employees going on strike right before the holiday season, a Sweet Baby Inc. employee that started...
This is not your year, Ubisoft. Hey, listen, Tyrone Magnus here, your unofficial advisor. Take the woke out, you're going to be just fine, okay?
Everything getting fired, Dragon Age pre-orders not impressing, and a based game director telling woke freaks to kick rocks and more. There's a lot to go over, so let's just dive into this. Firstly, Ubisoft's employees have begun striking at various studios owned by the publisher, and it's not looking good for them. It seems this strike all started because of a September email that was sent to all employees worldwide who are employed by Ubisoft that they would not be allowed to work from home anymore. Currently, as of the making of this video, the strike is planned to last at least 3 days of employees...
You know, I always thought was strange how, they all woke and this about women and all this. But they clearly make sure her booty is in your face. They clearly made sure. You know what I'm saying?
Currently, as of the making of this video, the strike is planned to last at least 3 days of employees refusing to work at Ubisoft due to these demands. But of course...
And I think I saw a jiggle to it.
Any good strike, this could continue even more as time goes on, of course. There is an interview in French that was posted by Pirate Nation, but I doubt I can show the full interview because of...
I ain't got no problem with that. I'm just saying, if you gonna go woke, go all the way. You know what I'm saying? Don't show the booty in our face with a slight hint of jiggle, and then you do all the other stuff. I mean, come on now.
Copyright issues? But to paraphrase what was being explained in the news footage, Ubisoft's employees are revolting and they're not happy at all about this. One guy interviewed has been working at Ubisoft for 9 years and believes that the erasure of work from home is pointless, as it has zero positive effects on employee morale or creativity, whether they're home working or at an office. What's extra interesting is there's another guy later interviewed in the news footage that is a union representative for Ubisoft employees. And he states very clearly that if this strike is not resolved now, before it gets worse, Ubisoft's future titles could be even further delayed. Yes, that includes stuff like Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is already delayed till February 2025. The union representative says the reason why they firmly believe Ubisoft will not win in this order against employees is because many employees have obligations that are tying them to working from home. Taking care of children or elderly family members is some of these examples that are given. Why is Ubisoft doing this, you may be asking? Well, it could be a few things. One, I know for sure, is that a lot of work from home being axed by corporations is because these companies rent or they buy entire buildings that are meant to be used for their employees as a workspace. And in the case of renting, the leases are usually for years, if not decades. And if you have a big building you rent it out for people to work in, and there's not enough people to work in said building, to make the payment of the rent that you spent viable, then you're basically wasting money for no reason on empty space not being used to make you any money. So corpos oftentimes force people into these buildings with mandates to justify their spending of office space rental or whatnot. Is it stupid? Absolutely. I think erasing work from home is completely moronic, especially in a world now where people are more connected than ever before. If someone who is insanely talented can work on your game, but they're 1,000 miles away, would you rather lose their talent to a rival studio, or just let them stay where they are and then talk to you via Streamlabs or Zoom, Skype, or whatever other software they want to use, and then you guys can just talk that way and it's fine? I mean, plenty of people have online friends. I mean, Discord proves this alone. I think the old way of looking at developing games, it makes zero sense in my opinion. After all, you have games like Crosscode back in the day that were made by devs from all over the world, most of whom have never met in real life, yet they made an award-winning game anyways.
Interesting.
This is just Ubisoft being idiots like usual. My other conspiracy theory idea here is that Ubisoft wants everyone to return to the office, Because it allows them to keep an eye on these employees better when it comes to leaking of confidential information on the games within the public.
Now that right there makes some damn sense. Whether it's their reason or not, that makes some damn sense. Uh-huh. Yeah, because it's just so weird that he's saying this and this is coming out. And then I think I just said the other day, like, yo, all these companies talking about they're going to continue the woke and they're just not going to let us know. They're just going to, you know what I mean? They're not going to put it in the trailers. Not going to let you know. I said, listen, people are going to be leaking it. It's going to be leaking and you're going to find out because people are voting with their wallets. We have been voting with our wallets, and it is definitely making an impression on these companies. Do not stop voting with your wallet, okay? If you do not like something, you do not have to buy it. They always tell us that too, don't they? If you don't like it, don't buy it. It's not made for you. Fine. You've got it. I'm telling you, man. There's several games that I'm just like, you know what? I've had it. Even with certain entertainment, movies and series, I'm just not going to be watching. I'm just not going to be buying. Okay? So.
Sure. It's a lot harder to track what your employees are saying and doing when their computers aren't exactly under your control. And I mean, based on the leaks I've been given, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these people were work-from-home employees. I don't know if they are, by the way. I'm just speculating that, but the point still stands. They likely want to squeeze their iron grip on the employees and make sure that they all fall in line, and it's much easier to do that if everyone has to commute to an office, pretty much. Currently, there's 50 people protesting at the Montpellier, I don't know how to say that, Montpellier, whatever, Ubisoft studio, around 100 employees bucking out in the Paris studio, and other offices in Annecy and Lyon are also taking part of this as well. According to the union for these workers, all in all, it's about 700 employees currently on strike at Ubisoft, and that's right now, as the story is just breaking. It could easily multiply and get far worse as time goes on if demands are not met. As one employee interviewed said, how long will it be before they start laying off workers and downgrading their ambitions? And they're right. I mean, if you want your employees to lose trust in you and leave the company forever, this is a great way to do it, Ubisoft. The company has already lost 90% of their value in 4 years. They haven't had a stock all year and then some. And DEI policies are eating and rotting away the company out from the core as we speak.
Yes, they are.
That's what I got for you on the story right now. It's not looking good for Ubisoft, but
$2.79.
Next up is Sweet Baby. Some background lore quickly. If you don't know, Gamergate 2 was started when Chris Kindred of Sweet Baby Inc. decided to try to get Cabrutus Rambo cancelled and banned from Steam for making a Steam detector list that compiles all of Sweet Baby Inc.'s games onto it. This, of course, backfired tremendously. And Gamergate 2 was born out of this situation. Well, this same Chris Kindred that started everything and put...
Hey, listen. Woke and DEI and everything is just poisoning entertainment right now. And poisoning their pocket because, you see what's going on. If we're allowed to have people compile lists of certain products that have certain additives in it that we don't want in our food, aka Sweet Baby Inc. is an additive in our entertainment that we don't want, then we should be able to have that. You shouldn't try to ban somebody for that. We've come and say, you not ban this guy for saying that, high fructose corn syrup is in, our cereal. What?
Bullseye and Sweet Baby Inc. has now been confirmed to have been fired by Sweet Baby's founders recently. This was confirmed by Gothic.
Matter of fact, if whatever you're doing is so good, it should definitely show. The numbers should show. All right? Because the morale, humans all over the planet will be won over by all your great good deeds for entertainment. But it's not, because it all sucks. It's diversity has been in entertainment for a very long time, and they're acting like it wasn't. You know what I mean? It's
Therapy, which is ran by a friend of the channel, Master of the TDS, and his wife, who both run that channel together. They were confirmed by a source that Kindred was indeed fired and let go by Sweet Baby for effectively ruining their games and their DEI war on players. As Master of the TDS said via Twitter, Kindred has removed any mention of Sweet Bing Bong Baby from their profile, and this rings true across other socials. Master of the TDS and his wife shared screenshots of their source speaking to them,
cleaning house,
their name, but here's what the source said via DMs. Chris Kindred isn't part of Sweet Baby Inc. anymore. Many people were not happy with what he had done, so he left, pushed out. Nothing was shared publicly for obvious reasons, but that is latest. Again, don't want to get involved in all of this, but that's the above. I should note during my live stream I did recently with Grum, Smash JT, Vera Dark, Master of the TDS, and Hypnotic. You can watch that in the live section of my channel if you want to. But TDS shared that this source was also very upset with how Smash JT was being treated by Sweet Baby and people like Alyssa Mercanti as well, who works at Kotaku. So it seems that to some degree, we don't know their name of course, but this source that is close to Sweet Baby is very much not happy with what SBI has been doing to games, not to mention the bad actors within that company and how they're harming players and public images of others too. Do I feel bad for Chris Kindred? No, not at all. I think they're an awful person, and the fact they attempted to use their limited power to force a platform into silencing Cabrutus Rambo is disgusting to me. There's no other way to put it. Cabrutus did nothing wrong. It was his right as a consumer to make a list to be used by others. The same way on Steam right now, there's lists for stuff like RPGs, action games, or whatever else.
That's fine.
He did nothing wrong, and because of Chris Kindred, it has birthed an armada of support and voices within the games community that, in my opinion, is for the better. Players deserve more. I fight for the integrity of gamers every single day. I mean, remember just a bit ago when I got attacked by CD Projekt Red and their employees for calling out their DEI policies and I got called a liar and then proved them wrong and Uno reversed their own attacks onto them?
Go watch his video on that. He had mad receipts.
The point is that the rot in this industry does not want that same rot to be purified. They are like a cancer that refuses to be uprooted because they are currently siphoning millions of dollars in profit out of the games and the studios that employ these parasites like Kim Belair or Chris Kindred of Sweet Baby Inc. As I said in my previous video, Kim Belair stated that SBI has their hands in over 80 video games as of right now this instant. Mind you, on their website, they mention barely even 30 of those games right now. So, yeah, you got at least 50 or so more games coming in the next year or two that will have the stink of the poopy baby in some way, shape, or form.
And I will have an eye on the lookout for it to make sure that my wallet does not purchase it.
And they will be hiding their involvement going forward because of the backlash created thanks to people like Chris Kindred, who decided to run their mouths. But like I said in some previous videos, thankfully I have good faith in knowing that we as a community
But you never know. Maybe some of these companies that worked with them will still remove the crap that they put in the games. You got what I'm saying? It's like, okay, they might be on the list as working with them, but it doesn't mean that they did everything that they advised. You get what I'm saying?
Have the ability to recognize pattern recognitions within the products we buy these days. And even without Sweet Baby Inc.'s name being publicly stated on a product, the players will still find out. Either through the credits of these games or cross-referencing of aliases they may be using, but I think the easiest way to tell if SBI is involved is simply by looking at what the game is and what it's pushing. For example, Unknown 9 Awakening comes out in 2 days as of the making of this video. You likely have not heard of it much, and I don't blame you. It's a game where you play Haruna, an Indian woman who is looking for these immortal humans that have the knowledge of human history within them. As you can tell from this trailer playing right now, Haruna is exclusively killing and fighting pretty much only white men. Which of course is, like I said, a pattern recognition that you can see and immediately start connecting the dots back to Sweet Baby Inc. They hate white people. It just is true. They also hate white men especially. So it doesn't surprise me this Unknown 9 game is a power fantasy about an Indian woman massacring white men left and right as she tears through them. At this point, none of this should surprise us, and sadly it doesn't. But it should also be stated that Unknown 9 doesn't have any hype behind it, and the pre-orders are abysmal too. I'm very interested to see what it debuts at in terms of Steam numbers. If I had to guess, it'll be less than 500 players, if that. I would honestly be shocked if it did anything close to that at release. The game is also $70 Canadian or $50 American.
She did some Flash stuff.
This is not worth that money at all, man. But games like Unknown 9 Awakening, which is a generic-ass name, are 100% Sweet Baby products. I mean, Kim Belair, the co-founder of SBI, is the story architect of this game. I wish I was kidding. So everything that is happening here is being designed from the top down with Kim Belair's insights and opinions. Here's a bit of my stream recently where me, Grubs, and Smash JT speak on this. Like, just look at this man.
When I covered this on my channel, I found out when I was researching it, I found out that it also has like a comic book series, and not a cart. What was the other? A soundtrack, an art book, cartoons. Like they have this whole like anthology series and build.
Can I just point out something that people watching real quick? So she's fighting, right? All the guys that she's fighting, white guy, another white guy here, go right here. This white guy, she pulls him in. They're all ginger white guy, another white guy she's beating right there.
Hey, I don't understand what is with the erasure of redheaded people. What is that? What is going on with that? Does anyone have a conspiracy theory or a theory on why they have been erasing redheaded characters? Like, well, what is that all about?
Keep going. Oh, there's a white guy there. There's a white guy right there. You can't see his face because the icon's in the way. My bad. There we go. So she's fighting 5 white guys. There's another white guy right here. And she's there's another same white guy again. There's another white guy shooting.
And by the way, you see how he's noticing that she's, taking down all white men? Now, this is one of those things where I've explained that the fans are like an exposed nerve now. They're jumpy to anything because, and I'm not saying he's wrong, but it's because they've put so many things at the forefront, okay? Everything is just diversity and female power and, a lot of times it's like white man bad and it's all these other things and the sexuality and the genders is just pushing it so much to the forefront that people now notice where it would have never meant anything. Okay? Like if this was like Lara Croft back in the day, if she had just, took out and took out a few white dudes, no one would have said nothing. But because now the fandom knows what they're doing and more importantly, why? Oh, they're looking for it. And even if you didn't mean it that way, they're going to see it that way. So you need to go back to doing what you were doing right, companies, okay? Studios, all right? And that's all of you. You need to go back to doing what you were doing right because it's going to tank your sales. Because guys are going to notice, women are going to notice, gamers as a whole are going to notice. And not just gamers, fans, period, of all media are going to notice, and your sales are going to tank. I would stop while you're ahead or while you're behind if I were you.
Looking at her right there. See that? All white men. None of them are anything else. There's no women she's fighting. It's just all white men. Very surprising. Very interesting. But the game is about... See, look.
Very surprising. Very interesting.
Makes the white guy attack the other white guy, grabs this white guy, makes him shoot the other white guy. Now this white guy is going to shoot that white guy.
It's all Flash stuff.
Look, see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so blatant.
Not Flash.
So blatant.
Sorry. Quicksilver.
If you say anything else besides, look at this skinny Indian woman knocking out a full-grown, not just white guy, just full-grown dude in general. She's so badass, isn't she?
Girl power.
Look at her. That's the same chick that plays what's her name, Yennefer in The Witcher, the TV show. Yep. Anya Trump.
I was just going to say that's who it looks like.
It honestly just looks like Forspoken, but somehow worse. As you can tell, she can basically possess people's bodies.
And she looks better than that. Why did they actually make her look worse? No, I always recognize her because of her eyes and her chin.
Or something. And then she can use their powers, I guess. It gives me sort of the vibe.
Kind of like Sydney Sweeney. I recognize her because of her eyes and her... Well,
Of Forspoken meets Plague Tale. But a Plague Tale was actually a great game. This just looks like ass. I don't know how else to put it to you.
It looks like a PlayStation 3 game that isn't.
I was going to say it doesn't look
no
like next generation or
her
anything.
Involvement with this game like she tried with Alan Wake 2, which I debunked in my previous video, by the way, already. They wish that they were getting the kinds of sale numbers.
And Alan Wake was a big old piece of trash. Not the first one, the second one. A big old piece of trash.
Numbers of Japanese companies were in comparison. For example, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has been confirmed to have sold over 3 million copies in one day of release.
Okay.
If you took every Sweet Baby game this year and combined...
I'm going to jump back on that after I finish Silent Hill 2.
...their sales, it wouldn't even come close to 5% of that at best in terms of sales. Nobody wants this slop. Nobody's going to buy Unknown 9 Awakening. We're sick of games with strong girl boss main characters that are just mercilessly killing almost exclusively white men as bad guys.
It's
of
just
course
the
they're
same.
going to call you bigots and it's
just the same thing over and over again. And like I said, it's like we know now. We know what you're doing. And even if you didn't even plan on it being woke, like people are skeptical. Like now I'm waiting for certain reviews to come out from people that I trust. It's like, okay, yeah, I saw this and I saw that, but that doesn't mean it's woke. Then let me see what this review says. Then let me see what this story's all about. Okay. All right.
Folks, if it fails, but at this point, saying stuff like that is just a badge of honor from these people. Their insults mean nothing anymore. It's like a fly swinging by your face. You just swat them away and keep walking. This insanity cannot continue on forever. It simply cannot. The money these games are making compared to what's actually selling is eventually going to cause these ideologies to be dropped as the market speaks on what it really wants. I should also point out just how confident these industry grifters were before they got discovered by the general populace. So Dread Roberts, another YouTuber, found one of the original pages from the Sweet Baby website from years
I've
ago.
seen his
You
stuff.
can't find this anymore. They have completely scrubbed their website and changing things around now, but there was this one page where it kind of just tells you everything that they are going for over there at SBI. Mind you, this section of the SBI website was written around the time of George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, so 2020. Here's what it says, and let's read along. Hi, I'm Kim Belair, and I'm a black woman working in games. I'm also the co-founder and CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., a black and queer-owned narrative development company working in indie and AAA spaces around the world. Right now, things feel scary, uncertain, infuriating, and heartbreaking in light of the government-sanctioned violence being perpetuated against black communities. It is important that we not only say something, but do something. It is challenging enough to navigate this world as a black person and to find solace, solidarity, and support. This is equally true for black people working in and adjacent to the games industry. Where opportunities are rarely afforded, help is rarely given, and black and other marginalized voices are ignored, silenced, or actively threatened. We want to help in what ways we can. To that end, Sweet Baby is firstly donating funds, but we also want to help black devs and aspiring devs find their footing and get concrete help in the industry. With an aim to get people the credits and paid experience needed to make headway, as well as providing counsel, support, and venting space, we set up this email, they then show this email, and then we invite you to reach out and let us know what you need, even if it's just a listening ear. We'll help where we can. At the very least, we can offer advice, calls, portfolio punch-ups, marketing help, Q&As, and conversational space. Wherever possible, we'll work to connect you with paid work, training, and connection with experienced developers across disciplines. We are here for you now, and we'll be here for you in the future. Let's make good stuff together. Black Lives Matter. So like I said, this section of the website existed in 2020. Since then, of course, DEI has completely overran the industry from top to bottom, and there's no questioning that. Although saying black devs are not given opportunities is ridiculous, considering...
I remember people in the black conscious community was talking about Black Lives Matter. They was like, don't trust it. I remember that. Do not trust them and the organization. And when all that stuff came out, I was like, damn, they was right too.
Places like CD Projekt Red have signed diversity charters that force them to promote people of color into roles of power within their companies, even if experience-wise they don't meet the criteria of that job. This is all wild to see, but sadly doesn't surprise me much at all. Again, shout out to Dread Roberts for finding this as well. It's just sad to see, man. SBI says they are narrative designers who do not force DI. They are not a DI company, but they do want to make sure you know that it's black and queer owned, as if that means anything when it comes to set quality.
Right.
They literally want to just give you slop, and then you can ask, but is this slop any good? And then they will just say, it's black and queer made. Yeah, okay, but is it any good though? How's the quality? It's black and queer made. I understand that, but you're a bigot. Listen, I don't care who makes what, alright? I've been to Chinese restaurants owned and operated by Japanese people. Hell, I've been to quite a few Mexican joints that are owned by...
There is a soul food restaurant in my area run by Chinese people. I had to go see it to believe it. And it's damn good. It is if you had went and got it, brought it home, and I ate it, I'd have never guessed who ran the restaurant.
Filipinos, as long as the food is good and the product is worth buying, that's all that matters. Ghost of Tsushima is considered one of the most accurate portrayals of Japanese culture in gaming, and it wasn't even made in Japan.
Yeah.
It was made in California, for God's sake, and the director of that game is some white guy.
Future Endymion here. They're actually located in Washington. My bad, but the point still stands.
None of this identity stuff matters. I don't care if the person making me teriyaki chicken is from the motherland. All that matters is that it's worth the money that I'm spending on it and it tastes good. I hate this whole you need to be this thing to make this thing mentality. Like, did you know that the Black Panther game from Electronic Arts has a predominantly black dev team? What the hell does being black have to do with making a good game about Black Panther? The character wasn't even invented by black people to begin with. 2 white guys in a room smoking cigarettes came up with Wakanda and T'Challa. So why would you need black devs to make a game about a black superhero? Doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, the only thing that matters is if it's authentic and you do it right. That's it. As long as you do it right. Okay? It doesn't matter. Just be great at what you do. Be the right person for the job. Okay? And do it right. That's it. I could care less. Okay?
The point of the matter is, as soon as anyone makes a point to tell you their ethnicity or sexual identity, when it comes to proving and or supporting why the thing they're selling you is better because of those things, just know it's just complete nonsense.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to end it here. Man, go over and follow Endymion. Tell him Tyrone Magnus sent you. My God, man, these companies are insane. 10 million subscribers. Whoa.